Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on out there? It is a wonderful Saturday. How are all you happy hashers doing out there, guys? Yo, we got Tech Man. What's going on? We got Cryptid Youth. Yo, Jason S. What's up? And we got Jason the Tiger Osborne with the B-Day. Yo, what's going on? Happy B-Day. And we got a 96 here. Yo. How are all you awesome peeps doing? As you can see, Mikkel ain't with me. He has himself a anniversary going on, so he's spending a little bit of time with the Wi-Fi. So what's going on? Tech Man with the homebrews in the house. We got an FA in the chat now. Yo. So it's going to be a little bit of a casual kickback on today, since I am the Lone Ranger. Guys, please go ahead, ask me anything at this point. You know, it's like I'll leave this one to be a little bit more of an open format for all of you guys. Got any rig questions or anything like that, guys? Certainly drop the questions in the chat. Any rig issues, anything that anybody's been noticing, like issue-wise with their rig setups, etc. I know a bunch of people who have been having issues periodically with Hive OS. You guys know I do like using Hive OS. I mean, it's not a plug for them. I don't get paid to sit there and talk about them, but it is one of the platforms that I do also use. Jason, he comes in with a big question. How are the XTs hashing? Well, they're right here, guys. I was figuring I would do a vid with me setting up with the Rabtech boards on a mining rig. So I was figuring possibly, depending on how everything goes for tomorrow, maybe do a live stream on Crypto and Hot Rods about that. Otherwise, for sure, I will do it on Monday, 100%. It just depends on, you know, what I got going on for tomorrow. Sheep Inu is on Coinbase. Well, you know, it's like Coinbase will list any fucking shit coin on there at this point because, well, Brian Armstrong is all about making that dirty fiat because, you know, he's more worried about making sure he is SEC compliant. I wonder how, with him listing all of these security shit coins, is going to bite him in the ass. And considering that it's not a proof of work coin, I really don't care about it, actually. I mean, yeah. Half the currency token supply was given to Vitalik Buterin, in which he dumped it on the market. Not saying you can't make money on a scam. But if you make money, cool. Just remember to realize those gains. And then IRS is going to come after you. Just know that. It's like, hey, let it pump. I got 12 million sheep to dump. Yeah, people are going to, you know, buy it up. And, you know, it's like, is it going to bite people in the ass like ICP did on Coinbase? Time will tell. I do know that the dev for SHIB is very active on Twitter with the memeing. I find it comical, but it's not funny enough for me to invest anything into it. Not financial advice in any way, shape, or form, guys. Steve's with the ZZ Top beer got longer. Oh, yeah. It's not, you know, ZZ Top status. I mean, his came down like way down. Santa Claus status, yo. But what would you guys like to see my 6600s actually mining on? Drop some comments down, guys. I mean, is there anything that you guys would want to see me hash out on? See what the actual performance is on these graphics cards. And hell, oh god, this one's heavy too. I still haven't even, like, plugged in this one, the 3080 Ti. I still got to do testing on this bad boy. See what I, what I can get on it. Give it a little panda flick. Will they mine flux? Well, anything will mine flux, but I can put it on there and watch it hash and see what the top hash is on it for how much watts, and then try to dial them in to where they use the least amount of watts for the maximum amount of hash rate with stability on them. Shiba's, yeah, I'll give you that one. Shiba's only popular because of Dogecoin. Dogecoin gave Elon gave Doge a pump because he was talking about it, and he gave it a pump to the retail market. But if you look at how the bigger traders and everything really utilize Dogecoin, nobody really holds Doge. I mean, you'd be a fool to hold Doge. Infinite supply, unaudited. Nobody can audit the supply on there really. But what I like about Doge is that you can send $1 million through Doge for one Doge. The cost of transfer is actually very, very low. And if you know how to look at the market a little bit, you can watch some whales trade up into Doge right before Bitcoin drops, and then vice versa. You'll watch Doge, so like you could sit there and dump on the whales if you really are good about it. It's not a market on which I would recommend the novice person to go play with, but I do it every once in a while. Make a little bit of gains here and there in Bitcoin. She who is a Dogecoin wannabe. That is true. That is 100% true. And I think it's hilarious that Shib made Greg a meme in itself. Fuck you, Greg. The chief meme officer for them. Techman's like, I haven't tried my AMDs on Flux. You know what? I'll do that for you, because I've got two 6600 XTs and I've got a 6800 XT. We could find out if it's even fucking worth doing it. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Any other projects you'd want, you might want to, I mean, the obvious one, I'm going to drop it on ETH. That's an obvious one. Just to see how low of a wattage on there and at exactly what hash rate it's actually hashing at. But I'm going to be putting together on one of the RabTech boards an actual AMD specific rig. So I'll now have two separate AMD rigs. My first one will be, of course, is my RX 580s that I've stripped all the fans off of, and that bad boy runs just fine with no fans. But it is funny to see Hive having an issue with like the watchdog on the fans, because periodically you'll see the fans drop to 0% on the fans, and then it'll be commanded at 49%. And I'm like, what the hell are you commanding? There's nothing there, and I've told Hive that I want 0, but yet you're going to still put out that as a almost 50% fan asking call out for it. It's kind of funny. I do have to say, guys, freaking allergies. Uh-oh, might be the Rona. I'm dying, guys. It's game over. So, any other, it's like, Jason Tiger Osborne's like, check it out on Raven. I certainly will. Certainly will. So we got Flux, we got Raven, of course, ETH, anything else you'd like to see my AMD rig, throw a couple of hash at. Anything at all. Maybe if you Yeah. How can I spice this up? I know. Maybe I will randomly ask for somebody's wallet address and maybe do some testing while I'm, hashing to your wallet. Ooh. Could I do that? Would you guys be interested in maybe if I hashed on it for 5 or 10 minutes for you? Try Aeon, Ergo. All right. You know what? I might as well just get a piece. Let me pull up. Let's see here. AMD. Let's see here. Test. AMD test coins. So let me go ahead and open this up here, and we got Jason with Raven. We've got Tech Man with Flux. We got Jason S with Ergo. And we got, let's see here. We'll add Jason with Raven and Aeon. All right. Anything else you guys might want to see these AMD cards actually hash out on, see what it actually does, especially the 6600 XT. Is it actually worth purchasing? Is it worth hashing on? It's like, I know that they're kind of like they're low wattage, kind of like in between a 1070 Ti and a 1080. So they'll kind of split the difference in between the two of them, but be super power efficient. I've not messed with CoinFlux at all, TechMan, but I certainly could check it out. And so got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got five different ones that we can check out on. That is for sure. See how they hash out on. And I will make a Google document and might be able to share that Google document link with you guys. This way, you guys could pop up on there at any time you want and check it out. Jason with CCX would be interesting. Yeah. That's something, we can hash it for Savage. Most certainly. The Jason wants to see the Ethereum Classic. EC. Ethereum Classic. All right, we could certainly do all of that awesome stuff. Anything else, guys, that might be interesting to any of you? Kitty, you make this hard. But, and then another thing would be, I have an extra Mobo. If anybody is like into Intel motherboards for gaming, this one might be right up your alley. I'd be willing to sell it. I'd take Bitcoin. I'm just saying. Bitcoin or Litecoin. So if anybody's actually interested in an Intel motherboard, I'm more of an AMD motherboard type of guy. I like my Threadrippers and all of that good stuff. And talking about Threadrippers, helpful crypto miner, did give me this one, and I am trying to get AMD to confirm what this is. They said that it is an engineering sample, and of course, you know, level 1 tech support doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and can't say anything about this. Can't confirm what it is or any way, shape, or form. So I'm probably going to have to escalate the conversation to somebody whose pay grade is a little bit more up there versus level 1 techs on there. You know, get level 4 involved on this, somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about and understands AMD products a little bit better. Because like before I plug this into my motherboard, you know, it's like I want to know, hey, is there just one kind of motherboard that this is compatible with? Does it take a specific motherboard BIOS in order for it to register it? Is there a particular driver set that I'm going to need to even get this thing to boot and post? I do know that when Helpful Crypto Miner put it in, he said that it would not post, and then sent it up over to me for some testing, see what I can find, you know, dig up on my end. He thinks that it is a 1920X. If so, that is a small, like a one-step upgrade on what I've already got. But you know, it's like you guys know, I want to get the 2990WX, which is going to be a little bit harder for me to get my hands on, because you know they still want they treat that CPU as gold. And what's up, Goblin? Hey yo. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to get this stuff up and hashing. I'm kind of wanting to do it tomorrow, but again, I'll have to see. And I actually do have another server case that I can put these in, and I'm kind of kicking around the idea of actually setting it up. Just because of the fact that the coolers on these, the fin stack goes horizontal versus vertical. Like on most NVIDIA cards, are always vertical. Like I can show off on this one. So you can see how the fin stack is vertical on here versus the fin stack on these ones. Let me see if I get it at the end of the light right, angle it. You can see how you don't see the individual fins, you just see the one fin going from end to end, which means that if you put it into a wind tunnel, the cooling effect will be far greater, especially in a server case setting. And I still need to do a video on pulling this bad boy apart too. I would like to get this one up and going just because, again, the fin stack goes from end to end, which makes them very nice to go into a server case. So I would like to put this R9, was it 390, right? I believe that's what this was. R9 290, I'm sorry. Get that into there. Probably get it to mine. I think it can go on to ETC because it's only 4 gigabyte of GDDR5. Get this up on there, mining on that one. Have another CPU on some let's see here. Hash match mashup. Yeah, exactly, Tech Man. So, but it's like I'm kind of kicking around the idea to putting it into build out another server case. This is the server case that I had my FPGAs in. That both the chip, the PCB internally shorted to ground on it. And then the other one had a very small crack in the die, which, you know, that's a killer right there. Whenever you're buying FPGAs, you know, certain ones you're buying them used. They don't make them, a lot of them new anymore, and you never know how hard the other person before you ran them. what their cooling solution was on there. Did they go liquid cooling like I did? Or did they go balls to the wall with air coolers and like Delta style blower fans on there? Although it does work, it just runs a little higher on temperatures. And if they were still sitting there pushing the FPGAs really far, yeah, they were damaged before I even got them. I did see occasionally runaway temps on there. That was an issue with some of the Squirrel FPGAs, that they had an issue with the temperature limiter where it would put itself into temperature protection. They were known not to work. Although I only saw high temp a couple of times, definitely not enough to cause any damage. But yeah, there was just like one day they just started erroring out on me. I know one of them probably got damaged whenever my riser went up in smoke. Probably hurt the FPGA just a little bit, and I kept on mining on it, and yeah. Goblin, yes. Immersion mining with FPGAs has been done. I was actually looking into a few setups like that, but they were wanting like $4,000 on an 8 FPGA setup. Yeah, not worth it. Especially since I'd have to buy. They were coming from Europe, so the shipping charges on top of that with the $8,000 coming in, import taxes on $8,000. Oh, fuck that shit. Because like whenever the import tax comes in, you're getting hit up at about, oh god, what is it? I think it was like right around like 28% duty tax on there. That on $8,000, that's a lot. I mean, just getting my ASICs in. The whenever they up the import tax coming in, my ASICs costed me an additional almost $400 in taxes to get it in, and that was just for $2,000. Yes, Tech Man, lube lives matter. 100% lube life matters. And Samsung Cloud is deleting itself soon because they're getting rid of Samsung Cloud. It's like I don't use it. Why are you telling me about that? Stupid notifications. It's like any other things that you'd like any other projects you'd like to see these cards hash out on, see what they could do. And I got them all written down now. Let me save. And shut that down. Go into here. And I don't want that. I want this. And did anybody catch Bits Be Trippin's little video that he had? There is if you happen to live, go ahead and watch Bits Be Trippin'. He did a little thing for a finance firm that actually has a mining company, and they're looking for a facility manager that's got experience, 5 years of IT, it knows how to run mining equipment, might be local to where they are. For me, that's too far for where I'm at. I'm not going that direction. I'm going to be opening up my own mining facility with Mikkel, as you all know. Oh, God. Goblin loser, please stay away from Pi. Pi is a scam. Pi, it's like I started hearing people talk about that scam about a year ago. my fucking cousin one day out of the blue just fucking texted me, "Hey man, have you ever heard about pi?" I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, please, dear God, stay away from it. Yeah. Now everybody's jumping in on that one. Stay away! No, red flag, red flag. Yeah, it. Like my cousin, he got a random text message from some bot scammer trying to get him to fucking invest into that garbage. Yeah, stay away from it. Yo, what's up, Bitcoin Jake? You've been on that sweet coin for like 4+ years, and have only mined 5K and SWC, and it's still not enough to get anything worth anything. Yeah, and that's the problem with a lot of these projects. It's like, yeah, your proof of work, cool. What's the point? You know, there's got to be utility behind it. It's like, yeah, Ethereum's got some utility for helping launch other projects on, but at the end of the day, Ethereum's still a fucking shit coin that it's basically there to pump Vitalik's bags, the pre-miners, and the early investors. So I mean, it's like, yeah, I mine it, but it's only because, you know, I mine shit coins for Bitcoin. So it's like there's a lot of interesting projects out there. It's like, yeah, people like CoinFlux, the team's great. You know, it's like, but again, they don't have the first mover advantage for privacy coins. That's Monero. But you know, it's like, it's cool that we have more privacy-focused projects. Is it going to be disruptive enough to stand on its own? Probably not. Same thing with like Ravencoin. I like Ravencoin. Tron Black's a great guy. The team is, you know, they work hard. They're trying to be as honest as possible, as transparent as possible. They're GPU focused so that pretty much anybody can participate in the market, but you know, the project's has had issues here and there, which is fine because they addressed them, which, you know, I'll give them kudos for that. But again, it's like, okay, what is the disruptive technology behind even Ravencoin? Is it that they're just they're for GPU mining? No, that's not disruptive. That you can record assets on there. Not really, because you can do that in a traditional system. They're not displacing the traditional system. Does it mean that I'm going to be like, you know, Ravencoin's a scam? No. Is it necessarily needed, and does it have the longevity? You know, that's up for debate. Raven doesn't burn up GPUs. It's the fact that they try to split the load, where instead of being like Ethereum, where it's all memory bound, they're trying to have it where they store the blockchain on the memory, and they validate on the VGA core. So they're trying to be like a balance on the GPU, which means that I can't sit there and pull power away from the core to drop my wattage on the overall card for the greatest efficiency. Overclocks are not necessarily needed. It wants more power, so it's almost like in order to mine Raven, you either need a really efficient cooling solution, or you're just going to pull power until the temps drop. Yeah, Raven requires different overclocks than ETH or Fire. Yeah, because like if you put it at 100% power, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of hash rate on Raven coin, but you're gonna just watch the temperatures just run away on you. Definitely not good long term. But if you were to sit there and do immersion mining with your GPUs, now you can sit there and kind of crank on the power a little bit more. Because your cooling solution is far superior than the card in its format that it is right now. Even if I were to put it into a server, I still couldn't give it all the power for Raven because the temps are just going to climb and up until you either watch throttling happen, you start burning cables, or you just burn out the memory controller. And especially for like the 10 series NVIDIAs, 10 series NVIDIAs had a huge issue with the memory controller power rail. That when the memory controller burnt up, it would command the power rail to send 12 volts. And well, that sends 12 volts to the memory modules, fries those out, and then sends 12 volts to the VGA core and burns that out. So it like double taps the card with 12 volts. Whereas if it's doing it on the VGA power rail, it doesn't always burn out the card because there's more fail safes on the VGA core than there is on the memory rail. So it's like you run a better chance of, if the VGA rail has an issue, that the card is salvageable as long as you don't continue to push it. If you catch it in time and turn it off, you're not going to let it hit 12 volts to the VGA core to burn it out. And I've seen cards where they did short to the VGA rail, and it was fixable. All I had to do is figure out which one of the power rails was giving the full voltage through it, instead of giving 9.95 millivolts go pass through on there like it's supposed to be. But if it hits it through the memory rail, card is done. On NVIDIA, Techman's like, on NVIDIA, I look at cards lowest power limit, start there, and then overclock up. For Raven, it's actually kind of not. It's like you almost want to do that with Raven. Just leave the overclock alone, drop the power down, and then slowly ramp it up a little bit until you just watch the temps come up a little bit, and then back it off just a pinch to keep your temperatures in check. And then you can kind of slightly tweak the core and memory frequency in order to gain, just the maximum efficiency out of it. But the overclocks don't do as much on Raven. So I mean, like, I've got a few cards that when I put them on the Raven now, they don't like almost no overclock. It's actually kind of weird to watch a card not like to apply an overclock, just because like if you just like watch how the frequency ramps up on it as it starts the miner for Raven, you just watch it almost go into its maximum boost range. So whenever you're overclocking for Raven, you're just trying to get it to hit that boost range to where it's got the highest peak frequency. But it's like what ends up happening is, because it kind of switches where its difficulty is, and you go to overclock it and it's on the lighter difficulty, and you get it in the boost frequency, and then it goes into the hard frequency, the hard difficulty, where the frequency just ramps up, you watch the card crash. I mean, that's pretty much how I attack a lot of the overclocking on this, is that I sit there and take away all the power that I can without the card crashing on me. and then kind of just ramp it up from there. It's like the first thing I'm looking for is temps before I play with an overclock on there. I could care less about the overclock. It's like with mining, because you're full tilt with mining 24/7. The first thing you want to do is just make sure you get the temps into an acceptable range before you start tweaking it. What up, Golden Wolf? What up? What up? And we got somebody new here, Lethargy. What's going on? Good evening to you too. I was kind of hoping that Helpful Crypto would have showed up here, or Gundy. I'm not sure if Gundy's working right now or if he's sleeping because he's got to go to work later on tonight. And then, let's see here. I just had somebody like, not Yo Biz, if he's in the chat at all. He just sat there and messaged me on Discord. He's got a enterprise grade card. He's got, what is it? One of the, what the hell was it? It's the AMD Vega. Oh God, I just remember it was like the blue one, like brain fart right off the top of my head. I'm trying to see here if I can find it. What's that one? No, because I've been kind of helping him on and off here for a little bit. No, that's the one that I have. I've got the K80. Oh, whatever. But he's got one of the new, the older Vegas that was like the enterprise grade cards. I'm trying to help him with that one. It's supposed to be running in Linux, but he is very new to Linux. So I'm trying to help him do all of this stuff. It's like I can't get past this. He's kind of stuck with the open CL platform. Oh, he's having a little bit of issues on there. It's like if he's in the chat, please don't give up on it. Just muscle through it. Figure it out with Linux on there. It's a little bit different than working with Windows, especially when you're Windows centric. That's the way I was for a lot. I mean, I crash coursed myself in Linux. You just Google it until it works, right? What's up, Unknown? Yo. And what's going on, Danny's with the good day and good night. Right. Ooh. Goblin's like, water the garden today at work. Monday's harvest. Nice. Yeah. You'll whenever you're doing any kind of gardening, you're gonna smell like whatever it is you're gardening. When it comes down to something that I'm familiar with, that'll be Ubuntu, or I'll do the Raspbian Lite for my Pi. So that's kind of like where I really crash coursed myself with, which was Raspbian Lite. It's like I actually like the light version because, fuck GUIs. Just give me a pure command line, makes it life easier. I've got a little background with MS-DOS from way back in the day. So command line's not that bad for me to understand, but it is a little different. I've tried a few other Linux versions, Pac-Man, God, what is it? With the Orange Pi, I've done some of their stuff on there. Not all of the libraries are optimized to work on all the flavors of Linux. I find that Ubuntu is kind of the go-to that most of the libraries for Linux are actually compiled for. And I don't have to go through on the backside to try to compile a library because I am not a back-end coder. I could do light coding. You can kind of call me more of a script kiddie versus anything else. I know a little bit of C++. I'm not like very proficient at it, but I have been able to make a few things work. I've got a laptop dedicated as a Linux laptop that also has a Bitcoin Core wallet, and the computer doesn't attach to the internet, so it's a cold wallet at this point. It's a cold wallet that the private keys are never stored on there. Yeah, it was really interesting to try to load up a Bitcoin Core wallet without attaching it to the internet. That was interesting. Yeah, what I mean by that is like if a cold wallet means that you're not attaching it to the, it never has direct connection to the internet. A hot wallet means that you're basically you're storing it. Coinbase hot wallet. Ledger, I would almost sit there and say it's kind of like a partial hot wallet because you can recover your ledger, which means that it is stored in their database. So, I mean, I don't really consider ledgers a cold wallet, but you know, Ledger, Treasure, all of those, because you can recover your private keys, you're storing it on somebody else's network. That's the only way that works. If you don't have control of the wallet.dat file, do you really have control over your crypto? Riddle me that one. USBs are a great place that I like to put my my wallet.dat files on there. And unless you know how I operate, you're not going to be able to tell what you're looking at. I go through, I rename them, I'll embed them into different sections. So like, you know, it's like you put files in there and you just do fileception and you just bury it into the USB, like, you know, as deep as you can go, all the way down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I mean, I get that one. Lethargy. The whole cold wallet thing is it's a little different to set up because you want to make sure whatever device that you're using doesn't attach to the internet. So the world doesn't know that you have a offsite wallet. So like you could do it with it's actually really easy to do with a couple of Raspberry Pis. So what you could do is you can take an external hard drive, load up the core wallet, you know, download the core wallet onto there from Bitcoin.org, you know, get the Bitcoin Core wallet, load it up onto an external hard drive. So your PC was the one that touched it. So you're kind of using your main PC as your buffer. You load it up onto there. and then you can sit there and put that onto a Raspberry Pi device that has a second external hard drive on there, right? And then you can copy the hard drive through. So now you've got a Pi that isn't connected into the internet, and you put the wallet all on there, and you make sure that wallet's already fully synced. It's really not going to make much of a difference, realistically, if you let the wallet sync or not, because the wallet will never, the cold wallet will never have a true sync ability, because it's not attached to the internet to actually communicate out. But you can have there's a file in there that has what's called a wallet.dat file. That is where your private keys are. I can go up to your PC. If you've got the core wallet on your PC, I can go into your where the file location is of your core wallet, and I can pluck out that one file that has your wallet.dat file, and then we could fire up the wallet, and it'll look like the wallet is a fresh wallet. There'll be no crypto in, no Bitcoin in there whatsoever. So I mean, there's nice ways of being able to like pull your funds off of an area that has a vulnerability to being hacked. So if you are kind of like myself, where I get a little bit paranoid on, it's like, okay, what about hackers? If I get targeted, I'm on the YouTubes, which makes, puts the big old giant target on my back. Basically I could sit there and make sure that my PC that I'm working on right now never has crypto on my PC. So if you're online and people know you have crypto, you are a target. It's like anytime you got money involved, there's always somebody highly incentivized to steal from you. Yeah, make sure you let one or two trusted people in your family know how to access everything, and I like to store stuff onto USBs. That's my favorite thing to do. And then I wipe it all off of my computer, and the only time that wallet.dat file ever goes onto my PC is in the moment that I'm going to exchange. And what's nice, and what you can also do, like let's say you want to make it to where you're just storing, right? You can load up your wallet.dat file in there, put that, it's like, and then generate a whole bunch of receiving addresses, right? Put that into a document file that you can have on your PC or wherever you feel comfortable storing it. And anytime that somebody wants to send you Bitcoin, or you want to have Bitcoin set to that wallet, you can use that one of the pre-made receiving addresses for your wallet.dat file, and then once it receives crypto one time, I'll put in there and scratch, erase it off of my PC. This way, there's no record of what coin and how much was sent to that receiving address. And then basically you can have your wallet.dat file on a USB, have it, wherever you want to hide it, and never look at it, and you can send Bitcoin to it all the time. You do not need the wallet to be on. You do not need to have access to said wallet in order to send crypto to it. That's like one of the FUD pieces that I've seen go around. Oh, you can't send Bitcoin to it unless you got the wallet on. It's like, no, some networks are like that. Example would be Beam. You cannot send Beam to your wallet without the wallet being on. That's one of the drawbacks of using Beam. I like dealing with Beam. I know some of the devs for them. But again, just like, CoinFlex and a few others, like, yeah, cool project, like the technology that you're bringing to the table. I like how you're experimenting with how to get to the solution that you're getting. But is it disruptive enough to be around in 5-10 years? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe somebody takes what Beam's doing and what CoinFlux is doing, and they put their little twist on there and they execute it better. Has more usability off of it. Now both of those projects are obsolete. It's like, but I do like the idea that Beam's technology, some of it is being worked on to be implemented into Litecoin. It's like, are we going to watch the Beam's project get integrated into Litecoin and Beam phase out? Don't know. Oh God, we got Doge Lord in his house. Yo, we got Doge Lord. Check out dogelord.com. Don't delay. Buy today. You can get some awesome flipping merch on there at dogelord.com. Yeah, and I feel so bad for the issue you are having with the Instagram team that you hired. I would fire those fucking people. That was somebody sitting there and just absolutely bashing. No problem with RJ. I'm glad I can help. A lot of people just don't really understand how sending and receiving crypto really works. Yeah, but it's like cold storage is where you want it. Like think of hot storage as your wallet, and your savings account at the bank as cold storage. That's pretty much how I look at things. Oh God, unknown crypto. You're nuts. 2 kids, under 2 years old. You didn't learn the first time that sleep was overrated, so you had to do it a second time. Either way, congratulations. I might not be a pops, but much respect for all the parents out there. Make sure you set up a Bitcoin wallet for their future. DCA into their future, of course, guys. Yo. Maybe by the time they're ready to sit there and go to college, maybe DCAing in a couple of bucks here and there every paycheck once a month, and you're going to look at it one day and be like, oh, damn, we can pay for your college and get you a car all in the same shot. Here you go. Your future is paid for. Oh yeah, sleep is good. Sleep is always good. That's something that traders don't get a lot of. That's why I don't do active trading, because if you actively trade, especially if you're a swing trader or a day trader, you shouldn't be sleeping when you're a day trader. You should be up 24 hours a day, never sleep. Because you're going to go to sleep, market's going to tank, and most of those day traders are leveraged up to their eyeballs and just get wrecked overnight. I don't recommend playing with leverage. I don't recommend trading. That's not my thing. I mine. This is all I approve of. DCA and mine. Because basically mining is a form of DCAing, because I'm buying hardware, which that's capital. I'm running networks, so I'm supporting the network, and I'm utilizing electricity. DCAing in 2 different ways. I'm providing value through proof of work. It's the same thing when you go to job. You go to work, and your proof of going to work every day is the paycheck at the end of the week. Problem is, with going to work every day, you spend more time working than what you're getting in rewards. Now, not everybody falls into that category, but I would say at least 60% of the people out there, they are getting underpaid for the type of work they're doing. Because a lot of these, especially with the, these big corporations, they would rather sit there and fire off most of the working staff there because they believe that one person should do the job of 5. But for the same pay. I don't get 5 times the pay for it. I get my normal pay for it, but I'm doing 5 different jobs now. Yeah. The risk to reward on that is just not worth it. Mining's way better. Because, like, at that point, your risk to reward is a lot more even. Mining is peak DCA. Oh, hells yeah, it is. Unknown's like, I don't drink and no coffee, caffeine, or sugar. Nice, nice. Are you doing keto, Unknown? The no sugar thing. Because that's basically a lot of the pretense of the keto. You're just trying to keep yourself in ketosis so that your body stops looking for the sugar to burn off real quick. It starts to look at the fats to burn off in your body. Because that's my wife actually does the whole keto diet too. That's a way to basically DCA health into your body. Yo. Life hacks. And she's at a little reunion for high school right now, so I'm not sure if she's back yet or because, I heard somebody going through the door, but I'm not sure if it's her. We got Golden Wolf with the or is it the coughing into the elbow? That character, I mean, I think it's the coughing into the elbow character, but it always looks like dab. So before I hop up out of here, guys, anybody got any comments, questions, anything like that before I take off? Besides what was talked about earlier, anything else comes to mind, guys, with what you would like to see these cards mine on? Certainly drop comments in down below. Or if you'd like to, go into the DCA Discord. Links are always down below, guys. Hop up into the DCA Discord. It is free to join. Be a part of the ever-growing community, guys, where we love to help people out. We show we got Jay the Weatherman, who's all about the market-moving trading, because he doesn't day trade, he doesn't swing trade. He does market movement trades. And if you'd like to be a part, kind of help support the DCA team, we have Patreon links down below too. Hop up in there. You can get some of that behind the scenes knowledge. If you would like to figure out, I love mining Monero, but I only have one CPU. And there's a dev fee. Well, if you've got very, 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 very low hash rate, even XMR rig, they understand. Hey, look, if you understand what you're doing here, and you've only got a little bit of hash rate, we will allow you to take the dev fee off. Well, guess what, guys? I went through all the trouble and took it off, and I've actually got to do another update on there. I am a few updates behind on it. It's not really a big issue, really, because it's only adding in some of the newer coins that XM Rig will actually work on. But for mining Monero, you can do it with a 0% dev fee. I believe in paying the dev fee. If you got a big farm, pay the devs 1%. You got a gigantic farm, cool. But at the same time, those people who have gigantic farms are going to look for somebody like myself, look for somebody like Mikkel, and to sit there and set all of this stuff up for them. But if it's like if somebody I know has got 500 motherboards rolling, it's like you should take at least a small percentage of them and actually have them mine also for the devs too, because it helps the devs out doing research, helps devs keep the mining software up to date. It incentivizes them to do so. If they don't get paid, why are they going to do something for free? There's been a few different mining softwares out there that they were basically, they weren't making a whole lot of money on it. And the mining software stopped getting updated, and now they're no longer useful. Some goblin, he's like, my question is kind of bad. Okay. But when do you think a bear market will hit? Also, will it be as bad as it used to be? That one is like a really, really tough question. It's not really a bad question. I wouldn't say it's not a bad question, realistically. I love mining in bear markets. Why? Because it muscles out the inefficient miners. When the profitability is skyrocketed, people with 30, 40 cents a kilowatt hour, they're going to mine because they're going to be in profitability. Bear market happens, and now you want to be 10 cents a kilowatt hour to be profitable. It's like, so it kind of muscles out people, but it's like I love mining in a bear market. But to be able to physically call out a bear market, that's like sitting there and, as a trader, timing the perfect top, timing the perfect bottom. You don't really look at it that way. You just kind of mine what you can, be as efficient as possible. The bigger trick is not getting the most power-hungry cards. A card like this, let's say, you're everybody's testing standards Ethereum. This thing should do about 50 watts, give or take, depending on, that kind of depends on GPU lottery, how good the VGA core is compared to the memory, all that other stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there that will kind of depict that. But to say how bad it's going to be, I would almost sit there and say is if Ethereum, big if here, guys, Ethereum ever decides to finally implement proof of stake because they finally figured out how to do proper coding and not have a system that 51% attacks itself, you're going to see a big displacement of GPU mining, and that will be basically a cyclical bear market for mining in a bull run. So it's like, that's also another time, just like Ozzy is sitting here saying, is like, I like bear markets because it gives you cheap GPUs. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case this time, because we have supply issues, we have scalpers that are out there that will buy up all the GPUs they can get their hands on and then mark them up and dangle them up above people. And then we've also got the 4000 series being leaked out from NVIDIA. So NVIDIA's already working on their, they decided to go, hey, miners, you don't want these cards. Now, if they sit there and implement the LHRs onto the new 4000 series, I think what NVIDIA is going to do in the long run is going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to see just a big giant uproar. It's like, yeah, sure, cool. your gamers have graphics cards. Congratulations. Now explain to your stock shareholders why your profitability is down. I would love to be the fly on the wall for that conversation. Oh yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of, Jason. Exactly, the 40 series will be LHR. We are starting to see the workaround on the LHRs with NB Miner and stuff like that, but yeah, I think that NVIDIA wants to demonize the mining community and going, oh, this is the reason why. Well, now they've got LHR cards and there's still no supply. So what are they turning around and doing? Because they can't make the new cards fast enough because the wafers that they're implementing these into are not big enough to make a big bulk of it. So they're going back and bringing out the 2060 series back because the VGA cores are smaller. They could put more of them onto a wafer and actually boost productivity. The 40 series is gonna be just as bad, dude. They're not. We're going to have a supply shock, and they're not going to want to sell it to anybody but data centers in bulk and gamers, so that they don't publicly get ridiculed. Because why? Fuck the mining community that actually will pay for them. Yeah, it's like with the Shizi GPUs from Intel. It'll be interesting. They're not going to be top of the line, but you know, for a company breaking back into a market that they left more than 20 years ago, I give it up to them. I like the move that they're making with this. It'll be probably a couple of years of them making GPUs before they actually refine their R&D development on there and actually be competitive against AMD and NVIDIA. I'm interested on how they will implement the VGA core with the memory, considering that AMD likes to lean on the memory and NVIDIA likes to brute force the GPU by just throwing core at it. I really wouldn't say that Intel had a bad history with GPUs. They were just playing with the GPU market very, very, very early on, before there was really any extensive development on there. The technology hadn't caught up to it. They were still implementing CPU-bound GPUs. So with that being said, you know, it's like that's why Intel does a very good integrated VGA core in their Intel chips, you know, onboard graphics. But we all know onboard graphics doesn't game well because you just don't have enough headroom. You don't have fast enough VGA VRAM on there. VRAM on there is way faster than regular CPU RAM, so they just kind of bottleneck themselves right off the bat. But back in the day when they were making them, it really wasn't bad. It was bleeding edge technology, and just because you're making bleeding edge technology doesn't mean it's really good. It just means that you're trudging through trying to develop technology that has not been there before. And I give it up to them for that one. And they decided to kind of go, hey, we're going to scrap this until the technology comes out and it's a little bit more substantial. And they let AMD, and look at AMD. Yeah, AMD makes graphics cards, but they are CPU manufacturers first. Intel and AMD have done a lot of collaborations on CPUs. So with that being said, that's why AMD is directly going toe-to-toe with Intel, because that is technology tried and true that the both of them have equally developed since the start. Whereas NVIDIA was all GPU from the start. So they kind of took a little bit of technology, researched, developed it, refined it, and then AMD was like, well, we could do that too. It's not that hard. Okay, we gotcha. And Intel was like, we're just going to make the best CPU. We're going to do one thing, and we're going to do it better than anybody else. And they have set the gold standards in the CPU market. And I give it up to Intel on that one. I might not be a big Intel fan myself. I have always used AMD CPUs. But, you know, it's like for a single performance, Intel is not bad. Yes, they did. Sub Goblin. They've been playing around with the APUs for the longest time, kind of going back and forth. But a lot of people don't realize that Intel and AMD have done a lot of collaborations out there. There are CPUs out there from back in the 80s and 90s that are Intel/AMD on the chipset. So it's, you know, they have partnered up and worked with each other a lot of times because the technology was in its infancy stage. Just like whenever Intel was in the graphics cards back in the 90s, that stuff was in its infancy. It's like whenever I started playing with computers, you know, 250 megabytes was a huge flipping memory. And that was a lot of memory, 250 megabytes. You know, it's like now you can't. It's like a JPEG will damn near fill that up. You know. So I mean, it's like the technology is still kind of turning around. They're running into the Moore's law issue, where they try to shrink everything down, but there's a point where, you know, Moore's law will kick in and they can't shrink the dies anymore. And that's why we're starting to see these VGA cores getting bigger. We're seeing CPU core, you know, like, it's like, look how big this thing is. It's a Threadripper. This is like the size of my palm, guys. You're not gonna sit there and, you know, it's like as you sit there and try to get more power out of them, you can only shrink stuff so much. And these people are going, these manufacturers are going to hit that headroom, and it's going to be, we're going to have to wait for the next new technology to come out in order to push past the Moore's law issue. Yeah, Dan. Yep. I remember those days. Oh God, Aussies, yep, all about the 640K. Yeah, you guys know what's up. It's like, I'm old enough to remember dial-up modems where you actually had to take a home phone and actually plug it into your, you know, put it onto a modem receiver. And as you're sitting there doing stuff online, you would actually hear, you hear the computer talking. It's hilarious. Oh yeah. I'm sure I've got a few 5 1/4 floppies somewhere. Oh yeah, I guarantee you somewhere that I have stored, I've got 5 1/4 from whenever I was in grammar school. With probably still if they haven't been demagnetized, I bet you it still has my homework on there. Oh God. Oh yeah. 2 by 32 meg. Yep. RLL drives. Oh yeah. 386 SX modems. Oh hell yeah. That's what I talk about, Jason. Is I started with MS DOS. Fuck. It's like I can't remember the name of the game. It was like a boat racing game that I loved whenever it's like something that I had on my mom's computer. $386 inboard for an 8088. Oh God, those were the days. You know, it's like I've worked on or played with you know, the Apple IIs, the Macintosh computers from back in the day. Oh yeah, it's like I lived through the 80s, bro. Hey, what's going on, Keeper of the Code? DOS for Dummies. I bet you that my mom still has the programming guide for DOS. I mean, hell, my uncle used to program in DOS. He's actually who actually started teaching me MS DOS was my uncle. He was a game developer back in the 80s. So like late 80s, I was actually helping him do some of the programming. Oh yeah, yeah. There's been some really cool little designs over the years. I mean, they're outdated as all get out, but pretty cool still. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you're talking a book that, like, yeah, a hurricane is not taking that book and moving it. It's like going back into the old coding where you're dealing with ones and zeros. You know, it's like, and being able to decode all of that stuff. Yeah, that's the stuff that my uncle used to work on way back in the day. It's like, imagine creating a game with ones and zeros. Yeah, fuck that. Yep. That is true, Goblin. All the binary languages. Yep. And it's kind of cool that it's, you know, that the binary languages are still there. They're not as prevalent as they used to be, but there are people that still use the binary coding and everything like that. So anybody else got any other comments or questions before I head up out of here? My allergies are kind of kicking my ass right now. I want to blow my nose. It's like I'll sit here and reminisce on the old hardware all day long, because that was the stuff that got me interested in it. And then at a certain point, my between my mom and my stepdad, they were like, "Oh, we don't want you on there. This is our $2,000 computer. We don't want you breaking it." And they made sure that I couldn't get my hands on it. So I ended up getting into doing racing and cars and all that stuff instead. But I always kind of stayed around the computer aspect, even with cars. That always interested me. You know, it's like, how can I tweak the computers on the cars, get more performance out of there? What's their limitations? How can I break them? And it was pulling a lot of the same data that was, you know, a lot of the same computer stuff that was being developed with Apple and Mac at the time was going right into the cars for the old school analog fuel injectors, the old school analog ignition systems. So it's like, I've kind of always played around with the technology side of it, dealing with Linux program, because cars were, back in the day, it was all Linux. Oh God, fucking, oh God, bulletin boards. Oh God, man, you're giving me PSTD or whatever it is, PTS. Oh God. Yes, sub goblin loser, most certainly. Smash that Lizzy like button, guys, if you haven't. Subscribe if you're new here. All that good stuff, guys. Oh, you know, I wonder if I've still got an Atari somewhere. I knew I used to play on the old Atari 32 series. Even the Commodore 64. Yo. Keep breaking that like button. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to catch you guys later on that one. Definitely, if you got any comments or questions, or if you'd like to see any other things you'd like to see mined on this, hit me up in Discord. I'm almost 90% of the time I'm available there. Got any rig problems? Certainly hit me or Mikkel up. We are always here to help. Oh yeah, they are worth it. It's like I saw some of that stuff and I'm like, wow, somebody will pay that much for it? Wow. For sure. Definitely keep her to code. Take it easy. Thank you all for being here. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all on the next one. Stay savage. Yo.